Good morning from a very foggy Brisbane. We're just up and ready and we're going to head down and have some breakfast now. But we have woken up to a very foggy day, as you can see. This angle where the camera is currently pointing, that's normally where you can see all those tall buildings of the city, but it's completely fogged out today. Anywho, so we're going to head downstairs now and have some breakfast. We're just heading from the Rydges, South Bank, through to West End to do some shopping. And these are all the new apartment complexes here, which just are beautiful. I think we're going down this little... And then we're just in West End now. This is Boundary Street, or Boundary Road, and we're just going to have a little poke around the stores. Peters Lane, West Village. Italian street kitchen. How cute's this little house? Imagine having that in your garden. It's very green. Ooh, this is nice. I mean, all the flowers are beautiful. How cute are these bags? Oh my god. Look at it. Oh. That's the cutest thing ever. And the little greenhouse bags. Oh, look how cute it is. And a little door. And then like inside, it's got like, look at the inside. Oh, they're so cute. How's that little man up there? Oh.
You make it yourself.
Oh.
Oh, that's for yourself.
Hello, we're just back at the Rydges now in our room. You would have just seen some clips from this morning. So as I mentioned, we went out to West End and had a little mooch around the stores there. And then from West End, we walked back to Southbank. And what did we do at Southbank? Oh, we went into the little lolly shop there and then went and had some lunch. And we had some burgers. We had lunch at Southbeach pub, I think it was called, and that's just overlooking the Brisbane River there and the pools that I showed you yesterday. So back in the room now, and I'm just freshening up. I have a 2:30 session at the Writers Festival. I think the 2:30 session is called Gothic Tales. So the Writers Festival is annual, and I think they do it in most of the states, but this is the Brisbane one. This is my second year. The Writers Festival is just really for anyone who loves reading or writing, publishing, anything like that. It's a festival where international and local authors, publishers, I think illustrators all come, and they move around from state to state and they give talks about their craft. So if they're in publishing, they'll talk about the publishing process and you know, how you might be able to get your own book published. If they're an author, they'll talk about their process. They might talk about their upcoming books, how they get their ideas, how they plot their stories and that kind of thing. So I am an avid reader. I absolutely love to read. So I find going to these sort of sessions really interesting, really informative. Being able to see, in some cases, some of my favourite authors. Last year, there was a couple of authors there that I can't even think of their names. I'm trying to think of his name. He wrote Everyone on This Train is a Suspect, and Everyone in This Family has Killed Someone. Both those books were amazing, so good, so well plotted, those books. But he was at the festival last year and gave an amazing talk. I think this year, Michael Connolly, if you're a reader, you'll probably know Michael Connolly. He does a lot of crime fiction, but he's a bestseller. He's been around for years and years and years, and he's doing a panel session. I think he might be the session this evening that I'm going to. So I've got at 2:30 today, I've got a session called Gothic Tales, and then at 5:30 I've got a session called Hardboiled, which is more of a crime fiction focused session. So I'm pretty sure Michael Connolly is at that one, amongst other writers. Generally the sessions that I'm going to today will have a panel of authors, and they'll talk about pretty much what I said earlier, their writing process, how they come up with their ideas, whether they're a plotter or a panderer, you know, what their internal process is, how they structure their days for writing. And yeah, so if you're a reader or writing a novel yourself, these sessions are just really great. You're surrounded by like-minded people. I come at it from the point of view of a reader. I love a lot of these books. A lot of these books are my styles of books, so I enjoy seeing authors I read on the stage, but I'm also a writer myself, so I enjoy listening to how they write their novels and how they get their ideas and record their ideas and formulate their plots and things like that. So it's very inspirational in that aspect. So I do get a lot out of these sessions. The Writers Festival starts on a Wednesday and goes till Sunday, but we're only here Thursday to Saturday, and today is actually the only session that I'm doing today is the only day that I'm going to sessions. They do have probably 50 different sessions from early morning into the evening, but I kind of just, as with I'm sure everyone would do, I just pick the sessions that will interest me. There was a session, I think it was international crime last night, that would have been interesting, but we actually had tickets to Beauty and the Beast, so I didn't go to that one. But as a reader myself, I enjoy like murder mysteries, basically. So I like a good murder mystery. I love it if a book can combine a bit of mystery, a bit of action, adventure, romance. If you can get all of that into a book, I think it's amazing, and I generally really enjoy that. It's a bit of light heart, a bit of humor, that kind of thing. So yeah, so the crime ones, and the one I'm going to today, Gothic Tales, it's got a bit more of like a fantasy spin to it, which I do enjoy as well, from a bit of the action adventure sort of aspect of it. But anyway, I'm going to freshen up and I'm going to head there. If I can film, I will film some of the session. But otherwise, I'll touch base with you after. So I'm going to go to the 2:30 session now, and then I'll come back to the room for a little bit, and then I'll head back for the 5:30 session. So I will talk to you once I've been to the session. I wanted to show, I bought these beautiful note cards today. I don't know if you can, you can kind of see there. They're gold leaf, and they're sort of an antique map style. But they're these beautiful sort of note cards, letter cards, whatever you'd like to call them, and they come with matching envelopes. I just thought they were absolutely stunning. It's really hard to find beautiful stationery, and these were just so pretty and so well made. It's really good quality sort of linen kind of finished card. The company that produced them is Peter Pauper Press. So I'm pretty sure you can get them online, but I just got them in a store today. So I will definitely be looking at them online and seeing if I can get different designs because they were, yeah, really pretty. Very nice.
Landon frees you to act in inappropriate ways, right? You know, it's like, I'm thinking obviously of Rebecca, right? The sense of like the constraints, like this is what you're supposed to do, but actually you're just sort of breaking out of that.
And also like to make it in as well, because you have Mary Ellen forced to go somewhere that she didn't want to go, and all these women have been forced to go places they didn't want to go due to a bunch of circumstances, and she keeps pushing. She's one of those ones.
So all of those little connections and people who've been pushed together. If you talk about history coming through to poison the present, then a family can be intentionally, unintentionally, or lovingly a microcosm of that coming through. But also on the sheer fun side of it, I also created an online blog which creates gothic situations called Girlflea's House, and a lot of the fun with that is just generating different family relationships, or the person who should
exposes that secret, because it's important that that does get exposed, so everything becomes a bit more layered and makes a deeper sense. So who tells you? Does your narrator tell you what their secret is as part of their redemption arc, or do they tell you as part of their, actually I am the villain speech sort of thing, or does someone else let you know, because then you've got the exposure of your main character. So that's really interesting for me, how that works, and a lot of that comes from
Just got out of Gothic Tales. It was a really good panel, very much about how the authors create like the Gothic aesthetic in their stories, and how they weave that into the landscapes and where they pull their ideas from. It was very inspirational. Just some really good ideas about how, looking at newspapers articles and the history of the place where your story is set and that kind of thing, and weaving that into creating that atmospheric feeling for the reader. But it was really good. So I'm just heading back to the hotel now for the little gap in between sessions, and then I'll be heading back for the next session at 5:30.
His works I really enjoy. And tonight we've got Brian Brown. Most of us know through his work in acting, but he's also, and then we've got Tanuka McKenzie. Has 3 detective novels out about a police detective called Kate Miles, all set in a fictitious but very recognisable Northern Rivers kind of town. And here we have Michael Connolly, who author of over 40 novels, multiple awards, and TV and film adaptations, and I think it was
realize they were all hard one. As a reader, you kind of find what you like, and the same thing happens when you're a writer. One of my first reviews I ever got 30 some years ago, started with this police procedural is, and it was like, police procedural, is that what I'm writing? I didn't even know that was a genre or a subgenre. So it's a lot of like classifying stuff, and classifying stuff kind of puts things in corners that I think...
Our world has got, our crime's got so much better these days. It's just so much more...
You know, for how to do this, because those people, the readers want to be those people. Everyone who reads a book wants to know how they would act in a very difficult situation, and hopefully they would act with honor. And so when you see it in these books, they become kind of psychological cues that we all take something from. Yeah, so that tension can lead to, you know, very interesting stories in real life and in fiction. You know, I was a reporter in that town for a long time. Basically, I wrote about real murders for 7 years, and a lot of those are more interesting than the novels I've written, but they just wouldn't be believed in fiction. So you leave those behind. But
If I was one of those blokes, I'd have to find out who it was that was behind this and has done this to me. And I then went, oh, that's a very good idea, for a series. So I thought, well, the best thing is, let's sit down and start writing what that's good. If I'm going to pitch it, and you've got to pitch them to places.
A good crime novel is how a cop works on a case, but a great crime novel is how a case works on a cop. And it's that case working on a cop that I had a kind of front row seat on.
I just got out of the hard-boiled session. It was so good. Michael Connolly spoke really well, as did Brian Brown and Danica. I think the session was really focused on where they sort of get the inspiration for their crimes in their novels, you know, from local newspaper, local actual crimes that have happened and things like that. It was really good. All in all, just a really good session. I've enjoyed both of the sessions today. Very inspirational and very inspiring. Lots of really great ideas. So I'm just heading back down to sort of where the hotel is, because we're going to go grab some dinner, and then if the markets are open, we're going to head to the markets tonight and have a little look at the market stalls. Good morning. It's quite an overcast day today, and it has been raining, as you can see. They did forecast rain today. Hopefully it will hold off a little bit while we head to the antique store and pottery barn. I had such an amazing trip coming into the city this weekend. Because we sort of live in the, coastal sort of area in that sort of countryside, it's so nice being able to come into the city just for the weekend and just to get that sort of cosmopolitan vibe, I suppose. Being able to park the car and just walk everywhere. We walked to QPAC, walked to the Writers Festival, walked to dinner. It's just, it's a really nice change of pace, I suppose. But we are checking out today, and we are heading home. Always happy to go home, always happy to go away, but it's so nice to be able to go home into your own space and just no traffic and no pollution and all that. So looking forward to going home, but we've just had such a great time away. But yeah, so we're just going to head down, get ready, and then head down and have some breakfast, and then we will be checking out. And as I said, we're hoping to go to an antique centre this morning, and then Pottery Barn, and then we will head home. But yes, an amazing trip into the city, highly enjoyable, just so nice to get out of your normal routine, I think. I lived in Brisbane City for about 10 years, and I moved back to the coast probably 5 or 6 years ago now. And so it's always nice to go back into the city and just have that sort of cosmopolitan vibe, and being able to stay in a hotel right in the city centre and go to events like the musical and go to the Writers Festival and things. It's always such an enjoyable experience, and being able to shop around and all that kind of thing. Oh, she's really starting to change her colours. But yeah, so just getting home, the garden's all looking really good, and I might just head in and start unpacking and getting myself all organised. So I might leave this episode here. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed coming along to Brisbane and just sort of seeing what we got up to there. Alrighty, I hope to see you in the next one.